Hi there, I am Samantha Amit. Welcome wherever you are. If you're coming in now, just check how you are today, where you've been, what's going on for you. So a little bit about me and what we're going to be doing today in this 30 minutes together. We're going to be talking about increasing our ability to be more productive. That can come, but the question is, are we calm at the same time? So I'm Samantha Amit. I work with highly ambitious people. So working with highly ambitious people who are also often high achievers, overachievers, they want to be strategic, they want to be happy and calm. And I can tell you how I came to this is because I love being productive. So in the beginning of my career, productivity was like everything to me. And I understood that when I was productive, essentially, I was actually quite happy, but I wasn't always calm. So that's the trick that we're going to be learning today. How can you be productive and calm? So this is an invitation to be present. Actually, a fun fact about me is not only am I a leadership coach, but I'm also a meditation teacher. So yeah, this is me, meditation bell. So just be present, breathe while you hear, these bells ringing. And this is an invitation to experiment, actually after this presentation to see what you want to take from it. Please stay curious and just notice while you're listening, even now, to the voice in your head and what thoughts may be coming up for you. Maybe they're judgments. That's okay. Just notice them as they come up. And I invite you to see if you can turn the judgment into curiosity. So what I'd like to do today is talk about the Mindful Act leadership model. So you're going to be walking away with a model. We're also going to be talking about how the brain works and 5 practical tools for productivity and calm. And the 5th one is going to surprise you. So what I have on the screen, if you're listening, is the Mindful Act leadership model, which is based on neuroscience. So it's backed by science. And the name of the model, actually, Mindful Act. ACT is an acronym for Achieve, Connect, and Thrive. And it's very intentional that I used the word ACT. So I created this model because the leaders that I was working with, I'm talking about actually almost 15 years ago, they wanted to be proactive. They wanted to act. And being mindfulness is an act. It's very specific. Just to give you another example, I've just been on the call with a leader now who there's so much stuff going on in his organization, so much restructuring. And when there's so much uncertainty that makes you anything but calm, you want to see what you can do to act, what you can be proactive around. And so with this model, there are 3 spheres. The first one is achieve. How can I look after myself? So it's my self-care, and how can I be productive and calm at the same time? And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. The C is for connect. It's all about my connections, my one-on-ones. It's my one-to-manys. And the T is the thrive piece of the many-to-many relationships. But that's going to be for another LinkedIn event that I'll do with you. So just actually to understand the model and the achieve piece is actually how can I stretch myself? How can I stretch myself 15% out of my comfort zone? Now, I do that almost every day. An example is even this event is the first time I'm actually doing a solo. Usually I love to have somebody I can talk to because now I'm just talking to the camera and hopefully you're going to be listening or listening to the replay. And it's very weird. It's very weird not to have somebody to talk to. And so for me, this is taking me 15% out of my comfort zone. And we do this because we have a higher cause. And I'm doing this because I have so much to share with you. This is the book that I wrote with Jonathan Passmore, Mindfulness at Work. This model is based on it. This work that we're going to be looking at now is based on it. And so in the presentation, I'm looking for you to understand me. In other words, understand you more. How can you be more productive and less stressed? So all of us have different ways. And I want you to see what I'm going to give you today is some classic ways. They're going to be 5 hacks, and we're going to go into them now. But keep asking yourself, what am I doing at the moment that can help me be more productive and calmer at the same time? So let's start with productivity hack. And productivity and calm hack number 1 is all about understanding how our brain works. Do you know that we have about 70,000 thoughts a day? Yes, that's crazy. 70,000 thoughts, and many of them are unconscious. And you know that many of them are checking to see if we're safe. Yes, that's true, because our brain has a negativity bias. It's always looking out to see how we can be safe. And that's why it actually stops us from creating like relationships. It stops us from delegation. It makes us nervous about trusting people. It makes us nervous about mistakes. And so we want to understand more about this negativity bias, because our brain is looking out to see what's wrong and how I can be more safe. And so what we want to do is we want to notice that. We want to notice when our brain, when things are triggering us, and we want to notice and learn more about our brain. And we're going to be doing this actually throughout the presentation. And the reason is because we're going to be looking also at our habits, which habits serve us and move us forward, and which are the bad habits that take us back. Now, our brain, what happens with our brain is we have what's called neural pathways in our brain. Neural pathways comes from neuroplasticity, which is fairly, recent discovery that our brains aren't, we can develop our brains. We can change all the time. So that's the science of neuroplasticity. And so within our brain, we have neural pathways, and our habits are really good for us because they help us to not think all the time and to be able to do things quickly and be productive. But what happens when we have bad habits that maybe make us not so productive? So we want to look out for that. We want to look out for the times where we are feeling unsafe or we're feeling we don't trust, and check, is that really true? So let's move on. So that's productivity hack number 1 is all about training our brain. And one way you can train your brain is through meditation. Another way you can train your brain is through any way that you can focus yourself. So we want to learn how to create ways to master our brain and use it to our higher benefit rather than have it sabotage us. So I want to give you a classic example actually of John. John's a CFO. He's responsible for $120 million annual revenue. That's a lot. And he really is an overachiever. He needs to be in this organization in order for him to keep his role. And he has lots of external satisfaction. I mean, he's a powerful leader and he gets lots of acknowledgement and validation. The problem with John is he gets stuck. He gets stuck and super frustrated on the 10% that he's not happy with. So he doesn't see the 90%, because again, that's what our brains tend to do. They look out to protect us, right? So they look for the 10%, like John's brain does, the 10% that he's not happy with. Now, if he wasn't coaching with me, he wouldn't even notice that. So we're working now on training his brain, and he's looking for ways to notice more than 90% instead of noticing the 10%, which is really getting him down and getting him stuck. Okay, let's move forward to productivity and calm hack number 2. How do you start your day? So I know that, science and research tells us that most of us are victims of our phone. The first thing we do in the morning, we take our phone and we look at it. And the question is, how do you start your day? So you want to look at that. How do you maybe end your day? And so I do that a lot. I do start my day. But what I also do in my day is I also introduce, some time for some quietness. So as I said, I meditate in the morning. actually meditate multiple times during the day because I find it really helps me and it centers me and it gets me present. But how do you start your day? Do you park far away and walk? How are you moving your body? Do you pray in the morning? What are your practices in the morning that serve you? Do you have a good breakfast? So just noticing what serves you, and maybe what are the bad habits that you have that for now, all I want you to do is notice them. Notice them, and maybe if you can, introduce more good habits. So I just want to check that you're actually hearing me. So if you're live and you're hearing me, please type 1 in the comments. And then at least I know I have some people listening in to me. Thank you so much. So one of the ways that you can also up your, again, if you're hearing me, please type 1 in the comments. Excellent. Get sunshine first thing. Suzanne, thanks for that. Absolutely. We know today that that's brilliant for us to get more sunshine. So one way that you can look at your morning routine is by looking at a previous LinkedIn Live event that I did with Nikki Leeper. You can find it on my LinkedIn profile. And there you can see ways for building your self-awareness, because that's what we're doing. We're building self-awareness. And, how can we be more aware of our morning routine? So if you want some information on that, just look at a previous event that I did. We're moving on to productivity and calm hack number 3. And this is all about habit stacking. So let me explain what habit stacking is. So habit stacking, Atomic Habits by James Clear, that's this book here, okay, that I have also. Atomic Habits, James Clear, I really recommend him. So he writes about how can you create small habits that can be really helpful for you, that serve you, that move you forward, that make you more productive and calm. So what is habit stacking? Habit stacking is taking a habit that you already have and putting another habit on top of it. So I'm going to give you an example of this now. So for example, Paul, who's a senior engineer, he's leading a development team in the cyberspace. And so what he does is he likes to go walking. He goes walking at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, what he does a reflection exercise. So he does a reflection exercise where he asks himself, how am I? How was my day? What were my meetings like? What served me? What didn't serve me? So that's what Paul does. But I want to give you some more examples which actually also incorporate exercise. And why they do is I'm a firm believer of using exercise to calm you down. And because when you move your body, you move out also a negative energy from your body. And it's very important. There's so much research on this. It helps with anxiety. So just today, I had a leader in Belgium, and she was saying that when she goes into the office, she has back-to-back meetings. So many of us are now in a hybrid approach. So she has many, many meetings when she's in the office, and she said she doesn't mind. She's actually going to ask who wants to come walking with her, and she may do a team walk. Okay, that's one idea that she had today. Another idea is with her one-on-ones, with her directs, she said she's going to actually start walking with them and doing the meeting with them. Now, I know this may sound strange, but believe me, life is very strange at the moment. I'm speaking to people all over the world because I coach leaders in 35 different countries. Maybe it's even 40 now. And I can tell you that work life is hectic out there. It is hectic. If you're in a for-profit, you really have to meet your results. Otherwise, you're out. And it's not even being in sales. If you're in development or in any department, everybody has their KPIs, and many people get put on a performance improvement plan today because the standards are very high. The standards are high. Life in the corporate world today is no joke. And so we want to always be seeing how can we actually both be high performers and be calm. And one of my best ways is to exercise, of course, to meditate, but that's another LinkedIn event that I'll do with you. and being in nature. So just getting outside, getting some sunshine, as Suzanne said, is actually really perfect. If you are already exercising and you're integrating that into your day, please type 1 in the comments. I'd like to see that you are exercising and see that you're with me, and then see how you can habit stack. So habit stack would be, if you're exercising and you're listening to a podcast and you're learning, that's fantastic. A lot of people are already doing that. What Paul did is he was listening to his podcast, but he actually said now what he does is, instead of starting his podcast straight away, what he does is he takes some time for reflection, and then that really, really helps him to learn a lot. Now, another thing that I actually spoke to Paul today, just out of coincidence, because I created this presentation a while ago, and he told me something else that was really interesting actually about habits, which again, we're talking about how can we stack habits and how can we also maybe remove habits that are bad habits for us. So he was telling me today, Paul, as well, that he had to give his phone in for a repair. And what happened, which was like crazy thing happened, the new phone didn't have all the apps that he usually has on his regular phone. And so all the notifications were not there. And he couldn't believe how that made him calmer. So if you have a lot of notifications that keep coming up for you, just know that maybe what you could do is you can turn them off and see if that helps you be calmer. So that's my way of telling you to experiment and see what serves you, what habits serve you, what move you forward, and what actually moves you back. So let's move into habit number 4, or productivity and calm hack number 4. So what I want to do is I'm going to actually, what I've got on the screen now, for those of you that are listening, is I've just put a calendar view up of a crazy calendar. And believe it or not, it's mine. I'm not proud of it, but sometimes I do have crazy weeks. So if you're listening in, what I've put up is a very, very packed calendar. And my question to you is, how does your calendar look? And if you want to be productive and calm, the first thing you need to do is clear up your calendar. So what's on the screen are different colors. And I really like using color coding, because what that does is, when you use colors, what that does is it helps you to understand when your meetings are, because then they are like in a bright color. Like I like red or orange for meetings, that you don't forget them. But then you can actually have other colors for other things, and you need a lot of time for preparation. So if you don't have time for preparation and for doing your emails, for getting back to all your messages, you're not going to be calm. What happens is stress is actually inadverted U. In other words, like an N, okay? So what happens is you go up, or you go up, you go up, and you reach a tipping point where you actually don't become productive anymore. And stress actually doesn't become good stress, it becomes bad stress. And so your energy starts depleting and everything seems like really hard. So you're not calm anymore. Your productivity that you were so good at becomes overwhelming. You notice that you have a lot of frustration in your life. So a lot of leaders that are doing really well, they're high achievers, they've got their KPIs, they're high performing, but they tell me that they are really, really frustrated. Now, do you want to be productive and frustrated, or do you want to be productive and calm? So I'm guessing that's why you're here today. And so one of the big thing is you have to have tough boundaries. You have to clear up your calendar, and you have to start looking after yourself so that you have time to prepare. So let's look on the next slide. I'm asking you if you have buffers in your calendar and you have space between meetings. Now, anybody that coaches with me, and I see some of you are online today, so it's really nice to see that, I'll ask you not to have a full 60-minute meeting. If it's in your circle of influence, please do 50-minute meetings, do 55-minute meetings, do 45-minute meetings, but don't do 60-minute meetings. If you're doing shorter 30-minute, You need to make them even shorter because we all need buffers. Now, I can tell you that when I'm coaching, I like to stack my coaching days, and then I like to have some free days to do other things on my free days. That's my preference. Again, what I'm asking you to do is notice what makes you most productive, what gets you calm. For a lot of people that I know, meditation makes them nervous. It doesn't make them calm, because that's why you need a meditation teacher like me to teach you how to meditate, so that you build it up, that it doesn't make you nervous. It actually helps you to be more focused and more present. But let's get back to the subject. The subject that we're on now of productivity and calm, hack number 4, is all about clearing up your calendar so that you have buffers in between meetings, both before and after. So you have to make that work. Now, I know that it depends on your organizational culture. So where is it in your circle of influence? Where it's in your circle of influence, you really have to push for it. You have to be tough. Start small. Start seeing where you can do it. You have to be more focused. So maybe that means having an agenda, okay? Being prepared before. And the more you have shorter meetings, the more you have time in between to be prepared. So let's see what we do with buffers or the space in our day. So we need time to prepare before a meeting. We need time to process our meetings afterwards. I often tell my coaching clients actually to finish with me even a little bit earlier, or to block out 15 minutes afterwards. Sit with a cup of tea, sit with a cup of coffee. It always makes us feel like we're having a break. So that's calming in itself. And process the meeting that you've been through. Again, see what worked for me, what didn't work for me. What happened with the people that were present in the meeting? Do I need to follow up? So it really helps to sit for a few minutes after the meeting. And often we have action items that we have to put into our calendar. If somebody asks you to do something, you can say, let me check my calendar. And you go after the meeting, you check your calendar and you say, no ways. If my calendar looks like this, I'll tell them, yes, but yes, in 10 days time, I can get to this, or yes, and I can't do that. So you need to be very intentional. So we want to also have these buffers to be prepared for your next meeting. And what I often do with the clients that I'm coaching, I don't only get preparation around what I want the outcomes to be. I also look at your attitude going into the meeting. Now, if you are overly tense and you're having a full-on day, you often go into the meeting and you're not present. And when you're not present, your meetings are not going to be so good. So people love presence. I mean, I coach also in California. Almost all my California clients have psychologists as well. They have coaches and they have psychologists. And, they pay just to be listened to. And so really be prepared for your next meeting. So what's your attitude like? You can notice what your attitudes are like going into the meeting. Are you calm? Are you able to be present? Are you able to be assertive if that's what you want to be? What do you want to be like going into the meeting? If you don't have time to even go to the toilet in between meetings, you don't have time to think, how do I want to show up for the people that I'm meeting with to get maximum impact out of that meeting? Everybody that I coach with, everybody wants to be influential. They want to be impactful. To be that, you need to slow down and you need to think, okay, what's really needed in the next moment going in? So we're now into productivity and calm, hack number 5, and I'm really excited. So well done for everybody for listening up to now. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself. When I am high energy, okay, that is like so let me just tell you what's on the screen for those of you that can't see the screen. So what's on the screen is a chart, really a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is low and there's a sad smiley, a really sad person there, and the 1s and 2s and 3s. And then number 10 is somebody that looks very happy. So if we have a scale of 1 to 10 where 1 is low and 10 is high, what's your energy like right now? Even ask yourself right now while you're listening to me, what's your energy like right now? So if you're doing this exercise and you like this exercise, then please type 1 in the comments that I know that you're there and you're listening to me. This is an amazing exercise just to check, how am I right now from 1 to 10? What's my energy like? Okay, is it low? Is it high? So what I wanted to tell you about myself is that I liked being high energy. I love being productive. So I'm the type of person that if I was low energy, it made me sad that I was low energy. And then I actually got some coaching myself, and I realized it's not normal to have high energy all the time. We sometimes have low energy. So what do you do when you have low energy? What can you do when your energy is low? What are the tasks that you want to do or you don't want to do when your energy is low? So Daniel Pink wrote a book on this. I think it's called Drive. It's an excellent book, so I recommend that. But let's see now. So the question is, we want to do a mindset shift. So we want to actually notice what our thoughts are when we check our energy. Are our thoughts serving you? Are our thoughts putting us down? And asking yourself, what do I need right now, or what do I need next? So my energy pulse, when it's high and I have high energy, that's great. I can do anything. But when my energy is 1, 2, and 3, I actually try and see if I can rest and restore. And what does rest and restore look like for you? In our society today, people don't appreciate rest. They don't appreciate restoring themselves. But I can tell you now that rest and restore is so important. It's important for the brain. It's like time out. And I can tell you that exercise, high impact exercise, usually isn't rest and restore, because what it does is creates a lot of adrenaline in your system. And that's actually, it's not going to rest and restore. It does other good things for you. But what you can do is you can maybe walk in nature. Maybe you can do something that relaxes you. But when you have low energy, you need to ask yourself, be happy that you've actually identified that you've got low energy, and ask yourself, what do I need right now? So we are too busy. We are not human beings. We are human doings. And so can you pause instead of being so busy? Can you maybe practice something new, maybe breathing? And this can be so simple. All you need to do is try. You don't need high motivation for trying something new. You just need to make it really small. And so that's something that BJ Fogg, he has a book called Tiny Habits, and he talks about making the habit really, really small, that it's easy to do. So what I want to do is really invite you into the space where you start practicing. So I want to give you a free gift, which is a leadership development course that I created, that you can practice what we've been talking about in this, in this event today. It can be really easy for you. You do not need to put a lot of effort in, because I designed it that you only need 3 minutes a day. So let's see where you can access this course. You can access this course on my website. My website is askyourcoach.com, and Ask Your Coach is written ASK, ask your, which is hyphen, ask-your-coach. Okay, ask-your-coach. Go into my website. You can download this for free. And everything that we've been doing today is in this free course. It's 5 days. You can do as little as 3 minutes a day and as much as you want. So it's also on my LinkedIn profile. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you'll be able to also click there and get this free course that I really, really recommend. All my clients actually love this course, because what I do is I do this work with them in the coaching that I do with them. So if you are not coaching with me and you liked anything that you have heard, it's in this course. So do access this course, and it's at the moment it's available for you free. So don't hesitate. So I want to now summarize what we've been looking at. We looked at 5 things: how you can train your brain, how do you start your day. You have choices. We looked at habit stacking with the reflection exercise at the end of the day. If you're going to be walking, can you walk and maybe do a reflection exercise? We also looked at tidying up your calendar, and we looked at your energy pulse. And is your energy pulse high or low? Oh, I see Marie's just dropped the change the way you lead in 3 minutes a day into the comments. So it's also in the comments here of this event. So I really want to thank you so much for showing up and listening. We're at the end of our time. I look forward to meeting with you online, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever that may be. Just ask yourself before you end today, what's been valuable for me? What's been valuable for me? And I'd love you to share that with me. Share that with me in the comments. Share that with me on any of the social media. And looking forward to meeting you again soon. Thank you so much, and bye for now.